I was invited to come to London to be a guest reviewer. I could only say yes, which was smiling from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I was so impressed. I'm still impressed, which blew my mind as well. I won't ever forget that Saturday. Did it meet the level you would expect from children aged 7 to 14? It met that level and beyond, because it was more than just meeting a level. It was a learning community. And for that, I think it's a really unique organization. And I have to, really commend you, Cheryl, because your vision to bring about such an organization, which really brings the inseparability of arts and science and performs it in a very safe and innovative, visionary way. So I congratulate you all.
Pam, I'd love to ask you, thank you very much for coming to speak about Archimake this morning. And obviously, we're really appreciative of what you've done with Archimake in the past as a guest reviewer. So perhaps you could just share with us just a little bit about your why you joined, why you interacted with Archimake, what inspired you to participate, the event that you participated in and what capacity, and what your main impressions were of the work, and verbal presentations made, and possibly a little bit of the context of your own background. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me to speak about Archimake. I was invited to come to London to be a guest reviewer, and I had no idea what I was getting into, and yet I instinctively, intuitively knew that this was something I needed to do. One, because it was about children making as engineers, as architects, as designers, and to engage with children and parents on a Saturday morning seems to me to be something beyond school, that would be doing something unique. And I'm always interested, indeed, I research transdisciplinary creativities, the creativities that are particular to architects, to engineers, to designers. And so this, I could only say yes. And going to this event was a delight and a treat. I met with Mike Davies, who is an award-winning, renowned internationally architect. You'll think of the Dome, you'll think of Pompidou Centre and other buildings. And he was the second reviewer. So that was an incredible meeting with this man, whom I've had half a dozen meetings with, and he features in a book I'm writing. So that's what can happen when you say yes. What struck me about the impression that I had that morning, which was smiling from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and just delighted and intrigued and inspired, was that I met with young children. I think they were aged 7 through to 16, and they were highly motivated. They were creative people that were engaging in thinking differently, in designing from their own experience, their own bedrooms, redesigning their bedroom, redesigning a community space, and thinking about sustainability, thinking about the aesthetics of design, and thinking about what it is to engage with people and to change people's lives through the spaces that they live in and play in. And not to mention the learning skills, the skills that they were learning, they were presenting, and they were engaging to get together. So that was my first impression, was just incredibly impressed, inspired, and very pleased that I'd said yes, because it not only met my expectations, it went beyond. The second impressive thing, it was very inclusive, it was diverse, and it wasn't parents dropping off their children to have a dance class or a a boxing class. It was parents' involvement. They were there, they were engaged, they were a community together, not divorced from parents. Parents were very much part of that community of care, and their involvement was absolutely essential. Yes, they were proud parents, but they were also involved parents. That familial, that family involvement is crucial, because there is a family creativity that is actually developed in the home through the family itself that really has an impact on children. And for them, this very diverse and inclusive a community of caring and creative people also struck me. I was welcomed and in contact with with several of them. The benefits of this, why do this? Why go to an extra session on a Saturday morning? Why not go for a walk in the Botanic Gardens? Well, I think you should do that too. But there's something absolutely essential to children's development, children's engagement, children's positioning themselves in their worlds, is that they have an opportunity to change their world. It's not about growing up to become, a graduate or, graduate from a university and then change the world. They have the opportunity and have all they need to change it, whether they're 6, 8, 10, 12. It's not about a developmental stage-based line. That theory's been well and truly dismantled. Children are philosophers, they are designers, they are innovators. And what I saw was the wonder. I saw them benefiting from the wonderment of designing, from the imagination of thinking differently, thinking up new ideas and making the case for those ideas, not just designing something weird and wacky. They had to provide a rationale for it. They had to measure it up, have some prototypes, build them. And not only that, they had to engage with real life scenarios. These were redesign the community garden space, the bedroom, a space that they choose, and these spaces, become living inquiries. So the benefit of being a kind of seeing differently, of analyzing what you see and how you interact with your surroundings, is to become very aware, to become reflective, but also reflexive. And the difference between reflective and reflexive is that to reflect on something is to think back to various things and just think back and muse on those memories. But to be reflexive is to act on it, to change something. And that is an incredible lesson. I was so impressed. I'm still impressed. And I think it is unique in many respects. Yes, there are always out of school clubs, but for all the reasons I've just cited, they're not all present when a child goes to a yoga class or a swimming class. All of those things they're not creating a new stroke. They're not justifying the need for a new stroke, in the pool. So major benefits, but the overarching umbrella was just enjoyment. They were engaging with children intergenerationally, with other children's ideas, and with people like Mike Davies, an award-winning architect, which blew my mind as well. I won't ever forget that Saturday. When it comes to the third question, which is, didn't meet the level you would expect from children aged 7 to 14. It met that level and beyond, because it was more than just meeting a level. It was much more than that, for the reasons previously cited. You know, they were doing the work, they were doing the learning, they were applying those lessons, they were documenting tremendous detail of the process, the journey, the learning journey, but they were also presenting that, showing it, disseminating it. So going the full, circle, as it were, rather than just, I think of Leonardo da Vinci, who drew 600 repeats of water hitting water, drawing them with that weft circle action to try and get into the physics of water hitting water. Well, we have technology beyond the pencil, though the pencil is still a powerful thing to use. But we now see children, being able to stand on the shoulders and be inspired by people like Leonardo da Vinci, architects, women, men, incredible, from all countries. And this is a sort of a hub for all of that energy comes into the place called Archimake. So the fourth question, which was, how does the work of Archimake relate to me and my professional discipline? I'm going to tap straight into the main arteries because I research STEM, STEAM, transdisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity, interculturality, and all of the creativities, the pluralizing creativities, so that we can actually understand what is specific to the authoring of an architect, to the co-authoring of an architect and engineer team, to the co-authoring of design done in collaboration with technology, but also in collaboration with more than humans, that is nature. So one of the questions I'm writing on this at the moment is a sort of post-human new materialist way of thinking, which is just fancy words for the fact that it's not just the creativity of the human, that we've got to sort of, the exceptionalism of the human is actually being outdated and outmoded, because we are collaborating, distributing the authoring between ourselves, with non-humans, as in computers, with AI, and with nature. This nature is a very large part of that collaboration. And you see that in the designs of the children, designing a new community square, designing a sustainable building. And Mike Davies was so sort of really, highlighting where the children were thinking about sustainability, whether it be materials, whether it be in collaboration with the space of the earth, the soil, the trees, and the incredible science and arts that comprise of nature. Back to my work, I'm very much into the meeting of arts and sciences, whether that's through mathematics and arts, whether that's through science and engineering. There's still an architecture. There is still an aesthetic co-authoring going on. And in all the work I've done, it's always and doing. It does bring all those three collaborators together. Children interact with the tools they're using. They interact with the space they're in and the play space that they are working and thinking in. These are sort of play spaces, because play is also central to children's learning, but also adult learning. And we heard that with Mike Davies. He spoke a lot about the collaboration with his team, and they were inter and transdisciplinary teams collaborating with what is the soil and the components of the space that they were going to build the dome on, which was a very particular kind of space that had a particular history. and they had to account for that. They had to interact with that. So, nature and natural conditions factor in decision making. So bringing these partnerships between humans, non-humans, and more than humans, being animals as well as nature, is really this sort of inclusive, distributed creativity or co-authoring that is very much what I saw with the children. The impact on me, uh, seeing anything that goes beyond school, beyond the academy, that links to real world life inquiry, lived inquiry, I think is magical and always has an impact, a ripple that stays with you. And that ripple, that is an impact that keeps shifting and changing how you think. It certainly has for me, because I'm in contact with Mike Davies, who's now one of my heroes, and also reflecting on the agency that these children brought together, sharing, that social learning, but not alone. Parents were there, not just sort of sitting and checking their emails and doing their own homework. They were engaged. They were learning. It was a learning community. And for that, I think it's a really unique organization. And I have to, really commend you, Cheryl, because your vision to bring about such an organization, which is a sort of really brings the inseparability of arts and science and performs it in a very safe and innovative, visionary way. So I congratulate you all.
Thank you so much, Pam. That's a really incredible to hear your opinion and hear how it interacts with what you've done. And that's obviously one of the reasons why we reached out to you, because we could see the synergy in what you're doing and your passion. So it's been absolutely fantastic to have had you involved in the Archimake at that time. And obviously, we hope to continue that relationship. We're really pleased that we've also expanded your networks and it's enriching your practice. So that's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.